So the first teaser trailer for the Predator prequel Prey has been released. And let me just say, I think I have some thoughts. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Come on. Do it! Do it!
Listen, if we're being honest with ourselves, I think we can all agree that the Predator franchise peaked with its first entry. And it's pretty much been a downward spiral ever since then.
That's right, it stinks!
What was great about the original Predator movie was its simplicity. If you throw a group of badass commandos into an unknown environment and have a predatory alien stalk and kill them one by one, I would just say shut up and take my money. The problem is that since that movie was released in 1987, every attempt at some form of sequel after that has either 1. Tried to recapture the magic of the first one and failed miserably.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Or 2. Tried to build on the mythology that surrounds the Predator. And I think I can speak for most people when I say absolutely no one asked for that. Part of the Predator's appeal is that we knew absolutely nothing about the species initially. But that mystique is gone now thanks to Hollywood's lack of creativity and their urge to consistently capitalize on things that are already established in the most lazy way possible. To me, the Predator franchise is a one-movie franchise and there never needed to be a follow-up.
That makes sense.
The story just doesn't call for any kind of expansion. And then came the news that Disney purchased 20th Century Fox and thus owned the Predator franchise. And we already know that Disney is completely incapable of coming up with anything on their own. So basically I had zero faith that this franchise would either 1. Be pointed in the right direction, or 2. Just be left alone. Because one way or another, let's face it, Disney got a Disney.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
Judging by the title of Prey, it looks like this film is clearly going to be placing the focus on the people being stalked more so than the creature itself. So here's the thing, if all we knew about this movie was what we saw in this teaser trailer, then the concept alone might actually have some kind of potential.
No shit.
We're placing the Predator in a new time period and putting him up against a more primitive opponent. That concept alone could be interesting if it was handled properly. And maybe it could even bring things full circle considering Dutch used primitive methods to defeat the Predator in the first movie.
You son of a bitch.
Plus, if we're just looking at the teaser alone, it is a decent trailer. We just have a Native American girl running for her life through the forest, eventually meeting up with someone else, presumably from her tribe, and as they are getting ready to defend themselves, the Predator targeting beam hits them in the forehead.
Now what the fuck are we supposed to do?
It's simple, yet effective. The problem is that we know more about this movie than what the trailer revealed. And everything we know about it doesn't really give me a whole lot of optimism that they're going to do this story any justice. The plot synopsis for the film reads, set in the Comanche Nation 300 years ago, Prey is the story of a young woman, Naru, a fierce and highly skilled warrior. She has been raised in the shadow of some of the most legendary hunters who roam the Great Plains. So when danger threatens her camp, she sets out to protect her people. Now at first glance, that doesn't sound as awful as it will probably end up being. It all really boils down to how this character is portrayed in the movie. Hollywood has shown recently a very clear inability to write compelling or believable female characters.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot, it's serious!
We all know that they are typically only included in movies just for representation purposes. And the studio has no intention of actually telling a good story with them. It's more about obtaining the cultural brownie points than it is writing a character that people can relate to. Will they have a reason for her to be as skilled as she is? That remains to be seen. I remember an early report that tried to explain the plot of this movie as a young girl who wants to defy the gender norms of her indigenous tribe. And just based on the wording alone, this is again people injecting 2022 ideologies into a different historical time period. I'm pretty sure that historically, the people that we're talking about in these tribes weren't concerned with gender norms, they were just concerned with doing what they have to do to survive. If their goal is, as reported, to make this movie as historically accurate as possible, then they might run into some issues there. But just the fact that they worded it that way tells me everything I need to know about the message of this movie.
Message!
It makes it sound like it exists just to prove a heavy-handed point. It's like, hey, see, women can be warriors too. Yeah, no shit. But maybe, just maybe, if you concerned yourself with the how rather than the why, this could actually end up being a decent story. But does anyone have faith in Disney to accomplish that, given their track record? Because I don't. They prove consistently how creatively bankrupt they actually are, and how things like diversity and representation take precedence over just telling a good story. We've seen it with Star Wars, we've seen it with Marvel, so why should we believe that the same thing isn't going to happen with The Predator? Surprise, surprise, the incel feels threatened by yet another strong female character. I, for one, am thrilled that a franchise built on toxic masculinity is getting the shot of yes, queen, that it so desperately needs. It's time that the man babies realize that there's more important things in life than your entertainment. Newsflash, representation matters to people with no imagination. And if you can't accept that, then you deserve to be cancelled. It's a shame, like I said, because the concept in the right hands could actually be kind of interesting. And don't give me bullshit about how people just love to hate on female leads now. No one complained about Ellen Ripley's character development because it felt natural and unique to her. The problem is not female characters, the problem is the writing associated with those characters.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
Your job as a studio writer or director is to make me believe that this girl is a credible threat to a highly advanced alien species. Now that's an extremely tall task, but if you can't accomplish that, then maybe you weren't the right person to make this movie in the first place.
Y'all be cool. Right on.